breaks their hearts again.
Pulling clear in the closing stages. Smart Call wins the Jambi Mid.
And Smart Call comes home to win it in the main Chance Farms Paddock Stakes.
A warm welcome to the first Breeding to Win show of the new racing season, and we've got an action-packed show in store for you. Let's take a look. We start off with Gwen McGregor, who tells us about the new initiative from Cuda Insurance. Fiona Ramsden catches up with stallion manager John Freeman and also tells us about the new acquisition at Klavervlei Stud. We're also fortunate enough to catch up with Monty Roberts during his visit in South Africa, and so much more. Well, it's on a sad note that we heard about the passing of Christopher Puller. An absolute tragedy to South African racing, and our deepest condolences to all his loved ones. We will be back right after the break with Gwen McGregor on the line. Gwen, lovely to have you back on the Breeding to Win show. How are you doing?
Hi, Judy. Very well, thank you. Lovely to be back.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, tell us about the new initiative coming from Cuda Insurance.
Jules, it's a product which we are offering. It's not anything brand new. It's just something we'd like to make the farms out there aware of for the, just before the breeding season starts. It's something we're offering to the farms out there who offer boarding. Which means that clients come from outside and leave their mares there for the season, and they foal there and so on. We're just not sure that clients out there are aware that they can insure their foals or their mares, or even prospective foals if they are a boarder on a farm. So it's just something we'd like to make everyone out there aware of, and just exactly what we offer.
Okay, what's different from the usual cover, Gwen?
Well, Jules, the only thing that really is different is that we're offering a standalone product for the boarding mares, which is standalone life-saving surgery and critical care cover, which means they don't have to insure their mares for mortality, so that they can just take care of those, those vet bills, which we know how huge they can be, and, the complications that can happen when these mares fall. So it's something that we're offering. They can insure for mortality if they would like to, but they do now have the option to just insure for life-saving surgery and critical care, which takes care of surgeries and obviously treatment, which require the mares to be in hospital.
Okay, now initially when you think of Cuda Insurance, or you speak about Cuda Insurance, you think about horse insurance, but I realized that Cuda has so much more to offer.
We do, Jules. We can insure pretty much, we can insure your horse, we can insure your farm, we can insure your car, your home. We even do aviation insurance now, which I'm sure people are now aware of, as well as our new initiative, which we just started a few months ago, doing the international transit, where we can now transport your horses from overseas and bring them in and out of the country. So we do, it's not only horse insurance, it's personal commercial as well as game, aviation, and as I said, the international transit business now as well.
So you're living up to your motto that Cuda is always at the forefront of innovation.
Exactly. We're trying hard, and each business is growing really, really well, and we're very happy with what we are doing.
Well, Gwen, thank you so much for your time, and no doubt we'll be chatting to you again on the Breeding to Win show in the near future.
Great. Thank you so much, Jules. Thanks for having me.
Thanks to Gwen McGregor, Product Manager of Cuda Insurance.
Access the world's best sires at the Inglis 2016 Yearling Sale Series. Sires represented include Reduced Choice, Fastnet Rock, High Chaparral, Street Cry and Medaglia d'Oro. For more information, visit inglis.com.au.
One of the top stallion managers in South Africa is John Freeman from Freeman Stallions. Fiona Ramsden took some time out to chat to John about the stallions that stood out last season.
With the new breeding season ahead of us, I'm chatting to John Freeman this morning from Freeman Stallions. John, an exciting new season ahead, but let's firstly start with the stallion stats from last season.
It's a very exciting year. In fact, probably one of the most exciting I've experienced in my career of 40 odd years. You know, we've got Captain L and Trippy fighting out the lead. Captain L, previous season's champion sire, and Trippy having broken the all-time South African Stakes earnings record for a stallion, but heads the overall official log at the moment. And of course, you know, he's got that filly Inara. There's a 5-time Group 1 winner. She sets herself up right with the very best that we've ever produced in this country. Great credit to Trippy. Dynasty having another fantastic year. You know, he's got 3 sons at stud already and another one going to stud just right now. I don't know whether in my lifetime I've seen a triple equus outstanding sire like Dynasty have 4 sons at stud at the same time as he's standing at stud. Now 5 actually. Active War's going there, I've forgotten. It's a very exciting thing, and may I say, I'm the luckiest guy in the world because 4 of the top 5 sires in South Africa are managed in our portfolio.
You're managing 16 stallions. It's very difficult to talk about 16 of them, but obviously the new kids on the block are the ones that everyone is so excited about this season.
Absolutely, Fee. You know, if you have a look at the top 7 or 8 stallions in South Africa, the youngest of them is Dynasty at 15, 16. The others are 19 and 20 years old. There's never been a better opportunity. Our market's wide open. New sires have got the world at their feet. We've got the likes of the current freshman crop, Give Me the Green Light, who's leading the current freshman sires, Philanthropist and Pathwalk, fighting it out with them. Very exciting propositions there. And we've got a wonderful leading second crop sire in Karari in our portfolio. New sires always draw a lot of attention, Fee, and I'm happy to say that the 6 who've not yet had runners, I've mentioned the 3 freshman sires who are very exciting, and Karari, our second crop sire. But you've got to look at the new sires all the time. This is the future. It's the lifeblood of our industry. Alphabetically, Futura, Horse of the Year, Legislate, Horse of the Year, Master of My Fate, Best Son of Jet, Master at Stud. Twice over, European champion. He's about to have his first runners. What a Winter, triple South African champion. He's about to have his first runners. And a very exciting new addition to Chieveley at Wiley Hall. A son of Reduced Choice, he's got to be one of the best sires in the world. But I've got to put Jackson right up there amongst them. He was a superior racehorse in his day. You know, as I've just said all those names, I've just got goose flesh up and down my back because it's so exciting. It really is. Who can have a portfolio of stallions put together like that? we've got Futura, Legislate, Master of My Fate, Jackson twice over, What a Winter, and Wiley Hall as the brand new prospect. You know, they say that no man ever committed suicide with an unraced 2-year-old in the stable. Well, I'm very far off suicide with this bunch going on.
You pride yourself on Grade 1s and champions.
I do. It's got to be the key. It's the overriding key. It's done well for me. That philosophy's done very well for me so far. I'm not giving up on it.
It's so important to have a quality sire.
It is. He must look like a stallion, he must have raced like a stallion. But you know, many years ago, a man called Friedman in Australia, 1991 I think the year was, said to me that I should not be going to Australia to buy Last Tycoons and El Gran Senors. I should be going there to buy Bletching Lees, Masqués and Maraudings. And I said, why? He said, because we know they can run on our surfaces and that they're suitable to our tracks. This is why I've concentrated so hard on getting stock that's running well in South Africa. It's pivotal. It's absolutely crucial that they've proven on the track that their progeny's got to run on. That's my view. And you know that the stallions that we manage will cover at least about 1,500 mares. They covered 1,560 mares last year. Some will get more than others. 6 of the stallions we manage already got their books closed. Others are still filling, and we're hoping to, particularly with the new sires, you know, exciting Futura, Legislate just retiring for the first year, to have them very well supported. They've been well syndicated. They stand at top sires as top stud farm, right next door to Trippy and What a Winter and Philanthropist. And you know, it's just so wonderful to have so many dedicated professional people supporting the stallions. It makes it easier.
You must have had a great racing season this year following the stock.
Yeah, we had Legislate the year before. We've had Futura the year after, and not mine, but by Trippy, Venara this year. You've got to have a top-class horse every year, and so it's very exciting.
With the Equus Awards fast approaching, I know that your stallions have many nominations.
Yes, I should imagine, you know, one hasn't seen a list yet, but if I just go through my mind, Captain L must have at least 3 juveniles. You know that he's heading for his 8th consecutive juvenile championship this year, which is quite phenomenal. He's the most record-breaking sire in South Africa. He broke another record on the sales ring, just to digress before we get to Equus. You know, he got 5 million rand for that best kept secret filly at CTS Awards, book one this year. But I think he's got very 2 strong nominations in the Equus 2-year-old filly category. Cloth of Cloud and Secret is out. They're both unbeatable Group 1 winners. In the colts category, he's got to have, always in charge, he's got to have a serious chance. And then, of course, Inara for Trippy, we've spoken about her win a Group 1 race in each of the 3 Group 1 provinces. Dynasty's got Bella Bella. And the interesting thing about Captain L breaking records is that he has 6 juvenile stakes winners this year. That's a new South African record. And 17.1 2-year-old stakes winners percentage is phenomenal. I also should mention that Trippy, having won the first $1 million race ever in South Africa, has now got 28 million rand in earnings. It's going to take some time before somebody catches that. And there's that wonderful tussle on the official log between Captain L and Trippy for Sire Championship. It's all very exciting. We might even have another champion sire managed by Freeman Stallions this year. It looks pretty likely. We'll cross fingers anyway.
Difficult question, John, but do you have a favourite?
Yeah, you know, you've mentioned all those 16, and I've said talked about the Sons of Dynasty. Do I have a favourite? Yeah, 5.
How do you find the coverage and the advertising in South Africa promoting the stallions and horse racing?
I think South Africa does extremely well, considering what a small racing jurisdiction we are in terms of global terms. We've got excellent, the quality of publication that we have in South Africa. We've got a dedicated racing newspaper. We've got brilliant publications like the Sire Handbook, and we put out a lot of publications of our own for our stallions. And I'm so happy that Breeding to Win is on Teletrack, because we need quality programs like this to promote our market, and I think they do an excellent job, and that's why we're involved and happy to sponsor them. And I'm happy that they're not only doing it on a Sunday night, because that's maybe sort of family night and not something time that everybody watches, but replaying it during the week and putting it on Monday night after the show from Durban is always extra time. And I do know that we get a good audience because we get spikes on our website, and of course we promote it through our e-news program. And we always see a spike on our website after a show like that, so we can gauge the effectiveness of it.
John, thank you for chatting to us this morning and look forward to the season ahead.
Minding hits the front in the oaks. Her 1,000 guineas success. Minding outclassed them. Architecture gallons in defeat. He's coming with a challenge and moves through into second. And it's Tarzan who has won the Investec Derby.
A length and a half away. He's 2 lengths in front. Chrome turns to gold. Smart Call wins the JBM.
Absolute thriller going to the line. It's Durban, July.
World-renowned Monty Roberts, or better known as the Horse Whisperer, first learned to listen to horses while observing wild mustangs in Nevada at the age of 13, where he spent hours silently watching the feral horses interact with each other. Soon he realized that they were using a body language to communicate, set boundaries, show fear, and express annoyance or affection. That moment that would change his life and the lives of horses and people forever. Utilizing the silent language would allow training to commence in a much more effective and humane manner, encouraging true partnership between horses and humans. The Breeding to Win team was privileged enough to catch up with him at Main Chance Farms during his visit in South Africa.
You cannot believe how excited I am to be here today for my first time at Main Chance Farm down on the Cape in South Africa. Main Chance Farm is owned by the Jacobs family. Andreas Jacobs is the boss now, and I've been with him for 26 years, and it has been an unbelievable partnership that I've had all the way from California, beginning in 1991 with one incredible horse called Lomitas. And I'm here for the first time on Main Chance to meet with the crew here, Tim and Alejandra and all the guys here. Nice to meet you, man. I bought a mare for Mr. Jacobs the same year that I started to work with Lomitas. I bought a mare called Spirit of Eagles. She got Sabiango and Silvano. So, and she's the only mare in the history of the breed that has ever had Group 1 winners in the same week. One was in Baden-Baden in Germany, and the other one was in Chicago, called the Arlington Million. So the roots here, for me, are as deep as the roots of those eucalyptus trees over there. Well, I guess you would have to say that this is two old friends meeting, because he's 20 now, and when he was 18 months old, I put the first saddle right here and the first rider up on him. The records just go on and on with him, but his mother produced 2 foals that were Group 1 winners, Sabiango and Silvano. And both of them won Group 1 races in the same week. And that's never been done in the thoroughbred industry before that we can find anywhere. Silvano then broke another record by going on to produce 3 babies that finished 1, 2, 3 in the best race here in South Africa. Where would you find that record in the books? 1, 2, and 3, all by the same sire. That's just incredible. Having produced as many wins as he did and as many years in the breeding shed as he has, when he comes at you now, watch to see how straight those legs come forward, with every joint lined up with one another, and all those joints appear to be 4- or 5-year-old legs instead of 20-year-old legs. You got to be proud of that genetic makeup. And it portends well for his offspring and how effective they will be over the long haul on the race courses of the world. Silvano, champion. Here we have Vercingetorix, and this is quite a story by Silvano. Undefeated in South Africa, went to Dubai, won a Group 1 over there, and came back here and raced some more, and is now standing at stud here. Vercingetorix, champion in South Africa, Group 1 winner, standing here at Main Chance. The village here in South Africa is Robertson. It's quite a drive out of Cape Town, but what a drive. It's an absolute gorgeous drive that is compelling to make. It's my first time here, and I don't know that I've ever seen a more beautiful drive than what we came through with these mountains and stone formations and stuff. It's just outrageously beautiful. Down here on the Cape, the weather, the grass, the horses. Here's where it is, Main Chance Farm, champion breeders. Down here on the Cape, the weather, the grass, the horses. Here's where it is, Main Chance Farm, champion breeders.
New Turf Carriers has been in long-distance transport since 1995 and pride themselves in excellent service. The bottom line is, New Turf Carriers take your horse from door to door with pride, passion and punctuality.
American-bred Coup de Gras recently arrived at Clavervlei Stud. Fiona Ramsden took time out to find out more about this notable coup.
We're here at Clavervlei this morning, where I'm going to be chatting to John Costa about the new and exciting stallion in South Africa, Coup de Gras. John, the first son of Tappet to stand in South Africa is quite an achievement.
It is, Fee. Tappet obviously champion sire in the USA 2014 and 2015, and well on his way again this year. He's a stallion who Bill Oppenheimer says he's vying for Stallion of the Planet honors, and that's huge praise indeed, because Bill is one of the gurus of the stallion game. And to think that a horse like Tappet is standing at $300,000 at Anthony Beck's farm at Gainesway. And my first idea was to phone my very good friend Anthony Beck, because who would know more about a stallion or a son by Tappet other than Anthony? And it was amazing because Anthony told me that he himself had been on this horse as a 3-year-old just after he'd won the Amsterdam. And he said there were just about every stud in Kentucky was on this horse midway through his 3-year-old career. So he was a horse that showed an enormous amount of potential, and just knowing that and having that fact that just about everybody in Kentucky was on the horse makes him a bit of a coup for South Africa.
And the decision to stand him here at Claverflay rather than Highlands?
Yeah, that was interesting. I think that's because I phoned Anthony first. And, we had been discussing doing business together on a previous trip when I stayed with Anthony on his farm. And I think fantastic that we've been able to create a partnership between Gainsway and Highlands and Claverflay. And Claverflay taking a major share, it was decided that he would stand here.
He's had a beautiful Stormcat mare himself, very talented.
Yeah, she was very, very, very talented. She ran third in the Group 3. She won 2 races. But Stormcat himself is really becoming a sire of a broodmare sire of stallions. We think of Sky Misa, has done extremely well, and Glen Eagles has now gone to Coolmore to stand at stud there. He's out of a Stormcat mare. And then Spitestown, of course. And Spitestown's been an amazing stallion for Windstar Farms, also out of a Stormcat mare. So I think when you combine Tappet and Stormcat, very exciting for this country.
He's a top-class sprinter. He won 5 races in America, and he's got a huge rating of 111.
He was, and he actually had a Bayer rating of 100, speed rating, a Bayer speed rating of 100, which was higher than his father himself, who was a 98. So, in this country, we really enjoy speed. This horse won over a mile as well. He looks like a sprinter miler. He's an extremely... He's got amazing quality. He's on the leg. He doesn't look like an out-and-out thick-set sprinter. So I think he's the type of horse with the right type of mare could even get horses to go 2,000 meters.
How difficult a process was it to actually bring him here?
It takes so long. We're so anxious to get the horse here because we want to show him to everybody. But with all the quarantine, the horses do fall away a bit in quarantine. But I was lucky enough to be in Beaufort West on Saturday morning when he arrived up at Charlie Costa's. He's got to do 40 days there since his last AHS vaccination. Took a beautiful video of him out in the paddock. He's standing in Preamble's old paddock. Preamble was a champion sire at the old Claverflay. And he was bucking and kicking and just loving life. Beautiful looking horse.
And the service fee is 50,000.
Yeah, we're going to do something new this year, fee. 50,000, which is 10 nomination, and 40,000 live foal fee. But we're also going to offer breeders around the country because we realize that sales have been down all around. Times are tough. We're going to offer breeders foal shares. 65%, 35% in favor of the breeder. And if you send a bold black type mare, it'll be 80%, 20%. And that obviously will be the price after all your costs that you sell your yearling for in when will it be 2019, I think. So I think a great deal for breeders.
How are the bookings looking so far?
Bookings looking very good. Obviously, the horse hasn't really been represented here yet. We're going to do a road show between Mike Sharkey and Grant Knowles and myself between the 17th and the 22nd around the country. And hoping to get Anthony Beck online. Because he is so excited about this horse that Anthony actually said to me when they loaded him to take him to the airport, I think I'm making a mistake here. This horse should be at Gainsway.
He's a beautiful chestnut-looking horse. I'm sure he's going to love it here in the fields of Claverflay.
He is a chestnut, and as we know, a lot of Tappets are grey. He's grey himself. But I had a look around, and he's had about 11 stallions that have gone to stud so far, and I think only 2 or 3 of them are greys. The rest are either bays or chestnuts. And the interesting thing about Tappet sons going to stud is that they had all the big studs. Gainsway has a son, Spendthrift, Windstar, Lane's End. All Hill and Dale have got 2. So his sons are really in great demand around America. And when you add good looks to racing performance, and in the female line alone, there are 3 Reigns de Course mares, which is massive. Then it is exciting. So I think we've got the whole package. We've got the stallion for sure with Tappet. We've got the mare who was talented, and she herself out of an extremely talented filly. She was champion 4-year-old filly in America. She won the Breeders' Cup. She won 4 Group 1s. She was placed in 6 other Group 1s. I mean, it's a huge class, racing class there. And then the mare being by Stormcat. And as we've just spoken about, Stormcat really making his mark as a broodmare sire of sires.
I'm here with Mike Sharkey at the beautiful Highland Stud Farm. Mike, you must be so thrilled to be associated with Coup de Grace coming to South Africa.
It's a unique opportunity for Clavervlei, Highlands and Gainesway to get together in a fantastic young horse. Tappet has changed the history of breeding in America, and we're really looking forward to him. Tappet arrived in 2004 at Gainesway, and well, the rest is history. I mean, he's changed the face of breeding in America like you can't believe. And it's great that Anthony, being a South African, went across there and happened to find Tappet and turn him into a champion. I mean, he gets Group 1 winners after Group 1 winners. And it's fantastic. Well, Oppenheim reckoned there's no stallion like Tappet. And it's fantastic now that we're going to get Tappet in, a son of Tappet's in South Africa.
The quality and type of broodmare we can expect from Clavervlei and Highlands.
We're very fortunate that in years gone by, Mr. Beck brought a lot of American fillies to South Africa. And with Anthony sitting at Gainesway and breeding with Tappet, it's an untapped fountain for us to be able to direct us exactly how to breed the Tappet horses in South Africa, having all those American made here in South Africa.
Tell us a little bit about the foal shares.
The foal share is fantastic. It's never been done in South Africa before. We've got one foal share is a 65, 35 split with the breeder, and you pay when you sell your yearling. And then for black type mares, you get an 80-20 split, and that's a fantastic offer. I don't think there's anybody else that would offer a deal like that anywhere in the world. So the South Africans, we hope they'll go in with us, and it's a fantastic opportunity.
The captive audience with the people involved in this horse is just phenomenal.
It is. I mean, Clavervlei, leading breeders, a whole bunch of fantastic mares. Tappet suits Jetmaster fillies, Captain L fillies, and there are a lot of them in South Africa. So Coup de Grace will suit them. Out of his second dam is a Breeders' Cup winner, Stormcat mare. I mean, fantastic.
And Coup de Grace himself, he won 5 in America. He's rated 111, top class.
Anthony wanted to buy him if he had won the Group 1, and he just happened to go wrong a bit. But we would have never seen him in South Africa if he did win the Group 1. Lovely athletic type horse. John Costa saw him up in Beaufort West over the weekend, and he said he's a lovely horse. There's fantastic breeding opportunities out there, especially with the foal shares we prepare to do with everybody. And we're excited.
Well, Mike, thank you very much for chatting to us today, and we wish you all the success and good luck with Coup de Grace.
Thank you very much for coming out. It's a pleasure having you guys out here. Yes, and we're really looking forward to the breeding season, which starts in 2 months' time.
Time Thief stands at Naddison Park, owned by Hassan Adams and situated in one of the most beautiful places on the planet. Time Thief is a son of Redoubt's Choice. He's out of the mare Procrastinate, which makes him a half-brother to Laissez-Faire, undoubtedly the best sprinting filly that this country has seen for many, many a year.
It was an exciting end to the South African racing season this past weekend, and a fairy tale ending for trainer Mike Bass when his runner, Marinaresco, shattered his field in the Grade 1 Carroll and Mike Bass Champions Stakes. A fitting end for an absolute champion of the game. Now time to take a look at the final stats for last season. Two promising young riders have caught the racing enthusiasts' attention over the past few weeks as they battle it out for their first apprentice championship. By the time this interview is shown, the season would have come to an end and the result would have been in the frame. But with 2 days to go and 8 winners apart, the tension is thick among these two young men. It is my pleasure to welcome to the Breeding to Win show, Callan Murray and Lyle Hewitson, two up-and-coming apprentices. Guys, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Okay, well, Callan, how does it feel leading the championship and having Lyle right on your heels?
Look, you know, a few months ago, I was pretty comfortable, you know, and Lyle came onto the scene and certainly made me sweat over the past month. But look, it's really nice to be in front, and I'm just hoping I can stay on till the end.
Okay, well, let's chat to you, Lyle, because it's been almost like a dream for you. You started, or you had your first professional ride in March this year. Since then, you've lost your apprentice claim, and we're only talking a few months, and already competing it out and battling it out with Callan for the apprenticeship.
Yes, ma'am. It's been unbelievable, and I can't put words to it. Like I've said numerous times, I couldn't have written the script. It's been unbelievable 4.5 months so far, and to have racked up 70 winners, you know, I really just appreciate all the support I've been given. And yeah, you know, there's been a lot of media around the whole championship and everything, and it's been really exciting. But with 8 winners to go in 2 days, you know, going to pull something really special out the bag. But yeah, nonetheless, it's been really great, and it's just awesome that I could be this close to one of my good friends for a championship.
Callan, let's start with your journey on becoming a jockey. Who and what inspired you?
Look, I was never really into horse racing. I probably only touched one pony in my whole life, and a family friend who was involved in racing suggested that I come to the academy and give it a go because I was the right size and weight. Look, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, so it seemed like a good opportunity, and I walked into the academy and I did the necessary tests and I got accepted. And you know, since day one at the academy, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it really became a passion of mine, and it's just been going from strength to strength since that day.
Now, you started the academy, or you joined the academy pretty much in the normal way, starting a 5-year apprenticeship. But it only took you through 3 rides to get your first winner, which in itself is a huge accomplishment.
Yes, you know, look, success came quite quickly for me, which was really nice. Obviously, my first 2 rides in the places, and then my 3rd ride a winner. It was very unexpected, and I was very chuffed to have got on the boards so early in my career. Look, I had a bit of a setback with the injury, so I started later than a few of my other fellow apprentices in my year. So I thought it would affect me in the long run, but you know, it certainly didn't. I think it helped me get stronger, and then when I did start racing, I had the necessary support. So look, it was really nice to get that one on the boards.
And obviously a huge boost for your confidence going forward.
Yes, certainly. I think confidence is just about everything in this game. If you're not riding with confidence, you're not riding at the best of your ability.
Now, Lyle, your story is a little bit different. You were born and bred into racing, with your father Cole being a jockey, and pretty much racing runs through your veins.
Yes, yeah, that's 100% correct. Not just with my dad being a jockey and then later becoming an assistant trainer, but my mom, she rode in a few amateur races as well, and she won 2 of them. She played polo cross, and my stepdad was a provincial and national polo cross player. Both my sisters, my stepside of the family, they all played polo cross. So horses in general were in my blood, and I think it was pretty inevitable. If my weight was going to be okay and if everything went according to plan, it was inevitable that I was going to become a jockey.
But yet you chose a different path to Callan. Obviously, the normal thing to do would be to join the academy for that 5-year apprenticeship, but you decided to go through the work rider school first. Why?
Well, in grade 9, I did go to the academy, and we did the test and, you know, the bone scans and everything, and we went through the usual procedures. And at that stage, we were a bit worried whether I was going to end up being too heavy. But with that saying, my mom was adamant that I must finish school. And So with the academy not being 100% sure whether to accept me, and with my mom being adamant that I must finish school, I had no option. But in the long run, it was the best thing that could have happened. And I was desperate to be riding, and I'd been riding from such a young age. I think I was just looking forward to participating in a race. And I started riding in the Durban Work Riders series, and I actually got hold of Mr. Marie and just said, please sir, you've got a full meeting coming up. I know I haven't come to your school, but do you mind if I come and ride the races down the straight? And we go from there and we take it from there. So thanks to him for allowing me to do that, and I haven't looked back since then.
Has it been an adjustment for you going from a work rider school and then going into the academy? Have you been accepted by your fellow apprentices?
Yes, 100%. I've been friends with a lot of the apprentices because I used to see them often in the mornings at work, so a lot of the jockeys and apprentices I knew from before. And coming to the academy, I think it's just helped me improve a lot as well. I've got really, really decent riders around me who I can learn from. I got top class staff teaching me, and our fitness levels, riding every day and learning, it helped a lot. So I think I only improved and got fitter and got better.
So if you had to turn back the clock, would you have wanted to go to the academy from the start?
No.
So you would have left it the way it is?
Yes, I couldn't have asked for a better way about it.
Kellen, how do you feel about these guys that start off with the experience of having the work riders, coming into the academy like Lyle Hewitson, like Diego de Gavea, Calvin Habib? They've got that experience and they almost come in with a 4-kilogram apprentice claim. How do you accept that?
Look, obviously it's a little bit of an advantage, having some sort of experience, even though it's not with the professional jockeys. But in saying that, it's a big step, a lot more competitive racing. So you do have to make a big change. But looking back, I think I missed out on a lot of the things that a lot of teenagers get involved in. Although I'm quite glad I did it the way I did, because I think it just worked for me. Not knowing anything about racing, I needed to go into an environment that I was going to be sculpted into the rider I am.
Absolutely. Do you have any regrets, like when you see your mates jolling on a Friday night and you've got to be in bed by 8 o'clock? I mean, do you guys have any regrets about choosing the career path you've chosen at such a young age?
Look, funny enough, Lila and I were actually talking about it last night on the plane. Obviously, it's a bit of, not really a downfall, but it's not nice to watch them go out and enjoy it. But I suppose we've got a nice career ahead of us, and it's a good start to our lives. And I suppose it gives us some sort of a responsibility. I suppose you just have to grow up a bit sooner.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lyle, now you pretty much lost your claim like a Ferrari at top speed. Did you feel like you had an advantage with that 4-kilogram claim, having had ridden winners before in the work riders? Or do you feel that the work rider races are completely different to professional riding races?
Ma'am, I think there is a big difference. I have to put that out there. There's different paces in the race, and just the way races are run is completely different. But with saying that, I had the experience of riding a horse at top speed and really knowing how to push a horse out. Maybe not technically 100% correct, but I was really there, and I did have a little bit of advantage in that way. But I think my main advantage came in the fact that I grew up around horses, playing polo cross. I learned balance in that aspect, and it helps with your hands, everything in terms of that. So I think my advantage actually probably came in more with my involvement of horses from a young age, more so than having participated in work riders.
Now, you guys have pretty much had very early grade success in your careers. It takes some jockeys years before they actually notch up that first victory in a feature. Callan, you rode 3 winners from 3 rides, including Deo Giventi in the Grade 2 Victory Moon for trainer Jeff Woodruff. In the very same silks you rode your first winner in, and that was of course Marcus and Ingrid Jooste. I mean, how does that feel to come at such an early age?
Look, firstly, I did have big support from Mr. Bruchman and Mr. and Mrs. Jooste from an early stage in my career, and I'm just grateful that it has been carried out. Look, my first group winner obviously gave me so much confidence. I think it really changed me as a rider, because I now knew that I could compete at a higher level. look, this season's been great with feature success, and I'm very chuffed about that. But I think the big races certainly do make a big step in your career. The minor races help you to keep you going, but those are the big stepping stones.
And of course, Lal, for you, you rode your first winner in less than 2 months after you rode in your first race professionally, without a claim, even though you were still, claiming. You weren't able to utilize your claim in a feature, and you rode it in Port Elizabeth for trainer Justin Snaith.
Yes, it was such a great feeling. For me, I felt more emotion and excitement from that winner than I probably did in my first winner or first double, first treble. It was simply a great feeling, and just like Helen said, it came down to support. Mr. Snaith gave me a really nice chance, and just the way the race was run, it just worked out perfectly for me. And I think the fact that there was no pressure on, I could ride my own race. And yeah, like I said, it went according to plan, and yeah, it was an unbelievable win.
Well, unfortunately, we've run out of some time, but just quickly for your short-term goals for the season.
You first.
Okay. Look, obviously, this season my goal was to get 100 winners, but I didn't quite get to that, and I think it's pretty much impossible to get it in the next 2 days. But look, I really want to have a taste of Grade 1 success in the next season. Look, there's always a possibility for tomorrow, but we're hoping, and that's one of my main goals. And I think anywhere over 100 winners for next season would really be a good goal for me.
And you, Lal?
Next season, I'd definitely like to be champion apprentice. I think that's right up there. And then just after that, I think Naresh Jagwal rode 102 in a season, so I'd really like to get 103 or more. So that's also another major goal for next season. And then, like Helen said, a big race victory, a Group 1, that would be simply the cherry on the top for a successful season.
Well, guys, on behalf of the Breeding to Win team, we wish you all the best for your future, and we look forward to having you back on the Breeding to Win team as well. So good luck, and we will be having close eyes on you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
We believe in excellence. We believe that if you're going to do something, you do it to your best ability. We aim to make Balmoral #1 in the Southern Hemisphere, not just South Africa.
Well, that's a wrap for our first Breeding to Win show of the new racing season. Our next show will be on the 21st of August. We look forward to you joining us then. From all of us here on the Breeding to Win team, good night.
Carry on Alice breaks their hearts again. Pulling clear in the closing stages. Smart Call wins the Champion. And Smart Call comes home to win it in the main Johns Farms Paddock Stakes.